Imagine, you are stepping into a truly lazy, slow, and gentle day beside the vast waters of the Chesapeake Bay. The waves rise and fall softly. Like an ancient melody the sea has been singing for thousands of years. Each wave is a caress, a soothing whisper reminding you that today, there is no need to hurry. You settle into an old wooden chair placed near the water's edge, letting your bare feet sink into the fine, warm sand. The sand carries the gentle warmth of the morning sun, while the breeze drifts in with the salty fragrance of the open sea. Far away, seagulls cry out, their voices blending into the endless rhythm of the waves. Take a deep breath in, and slowly let it go. No schedules, no tasks, no ringing phones, only you, the wide blue sky, and the calm embrace of the Chesapeake Bay. A lazy day begins with letting go. You allow your body to soften, each muscle unwinding, each thought dissolving. Worries drift away like foam upon the waves, appearing for a moment, then vanishing without a trace. In their place comes stillness, and a soft, weightless peace. The morning light shimmers across the surface of the water, painting golden ripples that dance and flicker. Small sailboats drift far in the distance, with no destination, no urgency, just floating, as though the whole universe, today, has chosen a lazy day. You close your eyes and listen more closely. The waves break gently, right by your side. Each ripple seems to murmur, "Relax, let sleep find you when you are ready." And so the journey begins. A lazy day, a restful day, upon the Chesapeake Bay. Let the waves carry you. Let time drift by, slowly, gently, peacefully. The morning arrives slowly over the Chesapeake Bay, as though the world itself has decided there is no reason to rush. The horizon begins to glow with the faintest blush of pink and gold, spreading across the water in gentle waves of light. The air is cool, fresh, touched with the faint salt of the sea, and it feels like a tender hand brushing against your skin. You are seated near the shoreline, where the tide creeps in with soft sighs, each wave curling forward before slipping back again. The rhythm is steady, patient, timeless. The bay is awake, yet still half asleep, just like you. It hums in harmony with your breathing. Somewhere in the distance, a fisherman rows his small boat. The oars dip into the water with slow, deliberate strokes, each one leaving a circle that expands outward, then dissolves into stillness. The boat drifts as if guided by the morning breeze more than the strength of the arms that row it. It does not disturb the peace of the bay, it belongs to it. Above, gulls begin to wheel through the sky, their wings catching the sunlight, their calls echoing softly across the water. But even their cries seem subdued, like the world knows it must not break the delicate hush of this hour. You take another breath, slowly, deeply. The scent of sea grass drifts in the wind, mingled with the faint sweetness of morning dew. The warmth of the rising sun spreads across your skin, not fierce or hurried, but patient, like a friend who has come to sit beside you. Time itself feels unimportant here. The minutes stretch and yawn, like a cat waking from sleep. The morning does not hurry. And so, neither do you. Your gaze follows the surface of the bay. The water shimmers like a sheet of liquid glass, broken only by the lazy ripples of the tide. Each ripple carries the reflection of the sky, bending and softening it, turning clouds into drifting shapes of silver and gold. The sound of the waves, so steady, so calm, becomes the background of your thoughts. In this place, your mind begins to wander, not with effort, but with ease. Memories rise and fade like driftwood carried on the tide. Thoughts of the days behind you soften and slip away. And even the days ahead seem far, far in the distance, not yet reaching this quiet bay. You let yourself lean back, resting into the moment. The chair beneath you creaks gently as though it, too, is settling into the stillness. Your body feels heavier, more grounded, as if the earth itself has decided to cradle you for a while. The bay whispers, "Stay." The waves say, "Rest." And the morning repeats, "There is no need to do, only to be." Birdsong rises faintly from the marsh grass nearby. Not hurried, not sharp, but soft, like a lullaby. The birds call to one another across the reeds, their voices weaving into the song of water and wind. A heron lifts into the sky, its wide wings carrying it slowly, deliberately, across the bay. It glides, weightless, until it vanishes into the haze of morning light. The sun rises higher now, spilling light over the shoreline. The wooden docks, the weathered posts, the ropes that sway with the tide, all of them are gilded with morning gold. The scene glimmers as though the world itself has been brushed with a gentle hand of light. And you breathe again, each breath slower, deeper, softer, as though the bay has lent you its rhythm. The lazy morning stretches on. There is nothing to chase, nowhere to go, only the sound of the water, the warmth of the sun, the whisper of the breeze. Each moment lingers, unhurried, and in this place, with the Chesapeake Bay before you, you begin to understand. This morning is not a time to spend, but a gift to open slowly, carefully, like a letter written only for you. So you stay, you listen, you drift, and the morning carries you gently, deeper, into rest. As the morning stretches further along the Chesapeake Bay, a gentle breeze awakens, carrying with it the soft whispers of the open water. It moves lightly across your face, brushing against your skin as though the air itself wishes to lull you deeper into calm. The breeze stirs the grasses that line the shoreline. Their slender blades sway slowly, back and forth, bending gracefully with the rhythm of the wind. Each movement is quiet, yet together they create a hush, like the faint rustle of silk. It is the kind of sound that disappears if you try to hold it too closely. But when you simply listen, it carries you into stillness. High above, clouds begin to drift across the sky. They are soft, unhurried travelers, gliding with the breath of the wind. Their shapes change gently, sometimes long and stretched like ribbons, sometimes clustered like islands floating in a vast blue sea. You watch them with a mind free of urgency, knowing that no two clouds are ever the same, yet each one invites the same peace. The breeze plays upon the surface of the bay. Ripples shimmer outward, glinting like silver threads beneath the sun. They catch the light, then scatter it, until the water seems to sparkle with countless moving stars. Each flicker is brief, yet endless, as if the bay itself holds an entire sky within its depths. You breathe with the breeze. In and out, the air fills your lungs, cool and refreshing, then drifts away, carrying with it any weight you still hold inside. With each breath, your body feels lighter. With each sigh, your mind grows quieter. In the distance, sails rise upon the horizon, white against the sky. They tilt and turn gently, responding to the tender push of the wind. The boats beneath them glide effortlessly, as if the breeze has promised to do the work, leaving the sailors to simply drift. The sight is calming, an image of surrender, of trust in the rhythm of the day. The clouds above shift again, their shadows moving slowly across the water. At times, the bay darkens into a deep, tranquil blue. At others, it shines bright, a mirror to the sun. Light and shadow play together across the surface, reminding you that even change can be soft. Even movement can bring rest. The breeze carries voices from afar, the call of a bird, the faint sound of laughter carried from a distant shore. They are not interruptions, but gentle threads woven into the wide tapestry of the morning. You hear them for a moment. Then they fade, leaving only the steady presence of wind and wave. Time stretches, unmeasured. The clouds drift on. The breeze continues its soft conversation with the bay. You let your eyes grow heavy, half-lidded, watching the sky blur into shifting shapes of white and blue. The world feels as though it is rocking you gently, cradling you in its rhythm. Somewhere deep within, you feel a quiet release. The kind of release that comes not from effort, but from allowing yourself to simply be part of the air, part of the clouds, part of the endless water before you. The bay whispers again, through the breeze, through the moving sky. Rest, for the world is wide enough to hold you. Drift, for the day is kind enough to carry you. And so you remain, listening, breathing, drifting, while the gentle breeze and the passing clouds move slowly across the Chesapeake Bay. The morning has given way to noon, and now the afternoon spreads itself gently across the Chesapeake Bay. The sun has risen high, yet its light is not harsh. Instead, it pours down in wide golden sheets, covering the water in shimmering brilliance. Every ripple seems to wear a crown of light. The bay, once a cool mirror of morning blues, now glows with liquid gold. The surface sparkles as though countless tiny lanterns have been lit just beneath the waves. The light bends and dances with every movement, creating patterns that shift endlessly, never repeating, always soothing. The warmth of the sun rests upon your skin. It is steady, calming, wrapping you in comfort. Not too hot, not too heavy, just enough to soften your body and ease you deeper into stillness. You lean back, letting the afternoon sun sink into your shoulders, your arms, your chest, loosening every place where tension hides. A soft hum of insects rises from the shoreline grasses. Their song blends with the rhythm of the waves, a steady undertone to the music of the bay. It is the sound of life, present but unintrusive, reminding you that even in stillness, the world continues to move with gentle harmony. The boats upon the water drift lazily. Their sails hang loose, catching only fragments of the afternoon breeze. Some boats rest at anchor, their reflections clear in the shining water. Others float as though they, too, have chosen to nap beneath the sun. The bay is not a place for hurry, it welcomes patience, slowness, quiet. Above, the sky is bright and endless, pale blue fading into soft white where the sun reigns. A few clouds remain, trailing like wisps of thought across the horizon. They move without effort, carried by the unseen hand of the wind. Watching them feels like watching time itself, fluid, ungraspable, yet deeply reassuring. You breathe in the afternoon air, warm and salty, filled with the scent of water and grass. Each breath carries the richness of summer, the calm of the bay, the sweetness of a day unbroken by urgency. And as you breathe, you feel the afternoon seep deeper into you, into every part of your being, until you are no longer just by the bay, you are part of it. Your eyes rest upon the glittering water. Each spark of light is a gentle hypnotism, a reminder to let your mind drift as freely as the ripples before you. Thoughts may rise, but they dissolve just as quickly, vanishing like sunlight swallowed by the waves. All that remains is this moment, golden, shimmering, unending. Time stretches in the warmth. The hours of the afternoon expand like a slow tide. You do not measure them, you only feel them, soft, wide, timeless. Birds wheel lazily overhead, their shadows skim the water, then vanish, leaving the bay unbroken once again. A heron stands in the shallows, still and watchful, its long body mirrored perfectly in the glowing water. For a long time, it does not move, and then, with one fluid step, it slips further into the light, becoming part of the bay's eternal calm. The water, the sky, the sun, the breeze, all of them work together to create a single thought, a single truth. Rest, and let the afternoon hold you. And so you rest. You allow the warmth to sink deeper. You allow the light to soften your mind. And you drift, effortlessly, with the afternoon light on the water. As the golden afternoon drifts onward, you find yourself wandering toward the edges of the Chesapeake Bay, where the land blends seamlessly with the water. Here, the marshlands stretch wide and still, their tall grasses rising like a quiet forest of green blades swaying gently in the wind. The air is softer here, filled with the mingled scents of earth and salt, of water and wild grass. It is a fragrance both fresh and ancient, as though the marsh has been breathing the same calm breath for centuries. With every inhale, you feel more rooted, more grounded, as if the marsh is lending you its timeless patience. The marshlands do not shout. They do not demand. They whisper. They hum. Their language is one of subtlety and silence. A language that asks nothing of you except to listen. The water here is shallow, barely rippling, reflecting the sky with the clarity of a polished mirror. Clouds drift lazily across its surface, their shapes bending and shifting as the grasses stir the water. Dragonflies hover above the reeds, their wings shimmering like fragments of glass catching the light. They move quickly, yet gently, their paths unpredictable but always graceful. Far off, you hear the low croak of a heron hidden in the tall grass. Then, a splash, the quiet strike of its beak meeting the water. And then stillness again, as though the marsh has absorbed even that sound into its endless calm. The quiet here is not empty. It is full of hidden life, of subtle motion, of small and secret songs. Frogs call to one another from shaded pools. Crickets hum from beneath the reeds. The faint rustle of unseen creatures moving in the grass adds texture to the silence. Every sound is soft, fleeting, and yet together they weave a tapestry of peace. You step slowly along the edge, and the ground feels springy beneath your feet, cushioned by layers of moss and damp earth. With each step, the marsh seems to welcome you, its silence deepening around you like an embrace. The afternoon light filters differently here. It does not blaze across open water. Instead, it slips gently between the grasses, breaking into shards of gold that dance across the surface of the marsh pools. Some patches glow brilliantly, others remain in shadow, and together they create a harmony of light and shade that soothes the eye, lulls the mind. You pause, listening again. The marsh breathes, the grasses bend, the water sighs. It is as if the whole world here is in meditation, teaching you without words how to be still. A gentle breeze stirs, carrying with it the low rustling of reeds that stretch as far as you can see. The sound is like 1,000 soft voices murmuring together, never sharp, never hurried, only steady, endless, and calming. You could listen forever, and never tire, because the marsh knows only one song, and it is the song of peace. As you settle into the quiet, you notice how your own thoughts mirror the stillness of the marsh. They move slowly now, like the tide creeping through narrow channels. Worries dissolve into the grasses. Memories soften into the air. Your breath aligns with the hush around you. The marshlands, with their gentle voices and quiet strength, seem to say, you do not need to chase the world. Let it come to you. Let rest find you, like the tide finds the shore. You sit down upon the soft ground, letting the earth hold you. The grasses sway above, the sky stretches wide, and the water mirrors both. You feel small, yet infinite, part of the marsh, part of the bay, part of the stillness that has no end. Minutes, perhaps hours, drift by unnoticed. Time in the marshlands does not march forward, it expands, stretches, opens, and in that openness, you feel yourself sinking deeper, quieter, softer. The marshlands cradle you, as the day leans further into its golden afternoon. And in their quiet, you discover a truth. Rest is not something you take. Rest is something that finds you, when you are ready to listen. So you listen, you breathe, you surrender, and the marsh holds you, gently, in its endless quiet. The afternoon begins its long exhale, and slowly, the day softens into evening. The light that once blazed gold upon the water now mellows, turning gentle and subdued, as though the sun itself has grown thoughtful. Across the Chesapeake Bay, the brilliance of midday gives way to hues more tender, amber, rose, and a faint wash of lavender. These colors spill across the water's surface, mingling with the slow rhythm of the tide, until the bay becomes a canvas painted by light and time. The air is cooler now, brushed with the freshness that always comes before dusk. A breeze stirs, carrying with it the faint salt of the sea mixed with the sweet, earthy breath of the marshlands. You inhale deeply, feeling the evening settle into your chest, filling you with calm. The sounds of the bay shift with the hour. The bright cries of gulls fade into the distance, replaced by the softer calls of evening birds. Their voices are slower, more measured, like the day itself has begun to wind down. Somewhere, the low croak of a frog joins the chorus, answered by another from deeper in the reeds. These are not sharp sounds, but gentle echoes, blending into the hush of twilight. Boats drift lazily back toward their harbors. Their sails, once white against the blue sky, now glow faintly pink in the last rays of sunlight. The soft splash of oars and the creak of wood are carried easily across the water, then dissolve again into stillness. You watch as they move slowly, unhurried, as though the evening itself is guiding them home. The sky above begins its transformation. Clouds deepen in color, their edges lined with fire as the sun lowers toward the horizon. Each passing minute reshapes the heavens, the pale blue fading into warm orange, then into rich violet that hints of the night to come. The entire sky is alive, shifting and flowing, a slow dance that mirrors the tide below. You sit quietly, letting the scene unfold without need to hold on to it. Every moment is enough, and every moment passes gently into the next. The world seems to breathe slower now, and your breath follows, in and out, in perfect rhythm with the bay. The grasses of the shoreline sway in the evening wind, their long shadows stretching across the water. Fireflies begin to appear, tiny sparks of light that flicker against the deepening dusk. They hover above the reeds, rising and falling in patterns as mysterious as the stars soon to come. You close your eyes for a moment, listening. The water sighs softly against the shore. The wind whispers through the marsh. The evening carries with it the hush of a lullaby, subtle, steady, endless. It is the sound of the day surrendering itself to night. When you open your eyes again, the sun has drawn nearer to the horizon. Its reflection stretches across the bay like a path of molten light, reaching directly toward you. The sight feels intimate, as though the sun has chosen to leave its final gift here. Upon this water, just for you. Colors deepen, orange into crimson, crimson into violet, violet into the tender gray of twilight. The day does not end abruptly. It drifts, it melts, it dissolves into something softer. And in this slow drift, you feel yourself dissolving too, into the rhythm of the waves, into the glow of the fading sky, into the boundless calm of the Chesapeake evening. The world around you whispers one message: slow down, be still, let go. And so you do. You let the evening hold you, cradle you, carry you gently toward night. The slow drift of evening becomes your own, and you surrender to its tender embrace. The slow drift of evening deepens, and now the moment of sunset arrives, gentle, unhurried, and breathtaking in its quiet majesty. The sun hovers low on the horizon, its great golden circle softened by the haze of the bay. No longer fierce, no longer bright, it becomes tender, glowing with a warmth that feels less like fire and more like love. Its light spreads wide, brushing everything it touches, the water, the grasses, the boats, with a softness that seems to bless the day before it slips away. The Chesapeake Bay transforms beneath this light. The surface of the water, once bright and sparkling in the afternoon, now shimmers in layers of molten color, deep orange melting into crimson, crimson melting into violet. The ripples catch and scatter the hues, so that each small wave holds a piece of the sunset, a fragment of the sky itself. You sit still, watching. There is no need to move. There is no need to think. The sunset does all the work for you. It fills your eyes. It slows your mind. It pours peace into every corner of your being. Birds fly homeward in graceful lines, their silhouettes dark against the glowing horizon. Each wingbeat is unhurried, steady, as if even they understand that this is not a time for haste. Their calls are fewer now, softer, fading with the light. The breeze changes, too. It is cooler, carrying with it the scent of evening waters and the faint sweetness of wildflowers hidden in the marsh. It brushes gently against your face, wrapping you in the softness of twilight. With each breath, you draw in the calm of the bay, and with each exhale, you release whatever weight still lingers within you. The sun lowers further, its reflection stretching across the water like a glowing path. For a moment, it feels as though the bay has become a mirror to the heavens. Sky and sea indistinguishable, both drenched in liquid fire. You gaze at the path of light and feel as though you could walk across it, step by step, into the horizon, into peace without end. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the light begins to fade. The fiery glow softens into deep rose, then into purple, then into the tender gray of dusk. Shadows lengthen across the shoreline. The boats upon the water become darker shapes, drifting silently against the colored sky. As the final curve of the sun dips below the horizon, the world pauses. For a brief instant, time itself seems to hold its breath. The bay grows still, the air hushed, as though honoring the quiet departure of the day. And then, twilight. The colors linger, refusing to vanish all at once. They dissolve slowly, melting into one another until the sky is painted in shades of violet and indigo. Stars begin to appear, one by one, faint glimmers against the darkening sky. The bay mirrors them, so that the water, too, becomes a sky, scattered with distant lights. You feel yourself sinking deeper into rest. The sunset has closed the door on the day, but it has done so with tenderness, leaving behind only peace. The world is quiet now, but not empty. It is full of calm, of softness, of the promise of night. The Chesapeake Bay, wrapped in twilight, whispers to you once more. Rest. Drift. You are safe here. And so you rest. You drift. You let the last colors of sunset carry you into the arms of the night. Night does not fall all at once on the Chesapeake Bay. It arrives slowly, quietly, like a friend stepping gently into the room, careful not to disturb your rest. The last colors of sunset linger on the horizon, faint streaks of rose and violet, while above, the sky deepens into a shade of endless blue. And then, the first stars appear. At first, only one, faint, almost hidden, trembling softly against the wide canvas of sky. It flickers, then steadies, as though gathering courage to shine. Soon another joins, and another, until the heavens begin to sprinkle themselves with light. Tiny glimmers, far away, yet so constant, so faithful. The bay reflects them gently. The water, now darkened into a deep indigo, holds the stars upon its surface like scattered lanterns floating downstream. Each ripple bends the lights, making them dance, shimmer, vanish, and return. You gaze upon them, and it feels as if the entire sky has fallen into the water, so that above and below, you are surrounded by stars. The air is cooler now, but soft. It drifts over your skin like a tender blanket, carrying the scent of evening reeds and the faint trace of salt. The world feels hushed, as though it, too, is listening, waiting for the night to deepen. Somewhere across the marsh, a chorus of crickets begins. Their song is steady, unbroken, rhythmic, like the heartbeat of the night itself. Frogs answer in low voices, creating a harmony that feels both ancient and familiar. The bay listens, and so do you. You breathe with the rhythm of the night. Slow, deep, quiet. Each inhale is filled with the cool air of the bay. Each exhale drifts away, carrying with it any lingering weight. The stars multiply as the minutes pass. What was once a scattering becomes a tapestry, constellations forming, lines connecting, shapes remembered from stories told long ago. Perhaps you see Orion, his belt of 3 stars clear against the sky. Or perhaps the Big Dipper, pointing the way north. Each cluster is both distant and near, both eternal and intimate. Above you, the Milky Way stretches faintly, like a pale river of light across the heavens. It feels as though the bay is not just beneath the stars, but part of them, joined in a dance that has been unfolding since time began. On the far horizon, the lights of small villages flicker faintly, tiny sparks of human life against the vastness of the night. Yet even those seem soft, gentle, almost shy in the presence of the stars. The bay remains the truest mirror, holding both earth and sky within its embrace. You lean back, perhaps closing your eyes for a moment, and you can still see them, the stars, pressing gently against the edges of your mind, leaving an imprint of calm. The night has no urgency. It asks nothing of you but to be present, to breathe, to rest. The breeze carries the quiet splash of water against wooden pilings, the creak of a distant boat shifting with the tide. Even these sounds are slow, unhurried, blending into the soft lull of the evening. And in this stillness, the stars above seem to speak without words. You are small, yet infinite. You are here, and you are safe. Rest beneath us, and let the night hold you. You open your eyes again, and the sky has deepened further, filled now with countless points of light. The bay glitters in return, every ripple a reminder of the stars above. You are caught between 2 infinities, sky and water, both endless, both gentle, both calling you into their embrace. Time loses meaning here. Minutes dissolve into hours. Hours dissolve into stillness. There is only the night, the stars, the quiet rhythm of your breath, and the eternal whisper of the bay. And as you surrender to it, you realize, this is not just evening. This is eternity made gentle, made kind, for you to rest within. So you rest, you drift, and the first stars above the Chesapeake Bay shine on, keeping watch over your sleep. Midnight arrives softly on the Chesapeake Bay. There is no sudden change, no abrupt shift, only a deepening hush, a greater stillness, as though the world itself has chosen to rest. The water lies calm, dark as ink, yet alive with quiet shimmer. Every ripple catches the faint glow of the moon, scattering it into silver fragments. The bay is no longer gold or rosé, no longer painted with the hues of sunset. It is a mirror of night itself, vast and boundless, carrying the moon and stars upon its back. The moon hangs high now, round and luminous, spreading its pale light across the water. Its reflection stretches in a path of silver that leads directly toward you. You watch it tremble, break, and reform with each soft movement of the tide. It is as though the moon is calling you, offering you a way into its quiet, eternal world. Around you, the marshlands are silent except for the steady chorus of night. Crickets sing tirelessly, their song weaving a blanket of sound that covers the darkness. Frogs add their voices here and there, deep and resonant, like the bass of an orchestra playing beneath the stars. The air hums gently with their music, and in that hum, you feel your body loosen further, your breath grow heavier, slower. The breeze has cooled, brushing against your face like silk. It carries the scent of water, reeds, and the faint trace of wild blossoms that open only at night. Each breath feels like a gift, each exhale a surrender. Boats rest in the distance, their silhouettes dark and still. The sails are furled, the oars quiet, the harbors calm. They rock gently with the tide, as though they too have given themselves over to sleep. The soft creak of wood, the faint tap of water against hulls, are the only reminders of their presence. Overhead, the stars burn brighter than ever. The Milky Way, pale and endless, arcs across the heavens like a bridge of light. You gaze at it, and for a moment, you feel weightless, suspended between water and sky, between earth and infinity. The night is vast, but it does not overwhelm. It holds you, gently, reminding you that you belong to this quiet, this peace, this eternity. The bay breathes with you. Each wave rises slowly, then falls. Each breath enters, then leaves. The rhythm is one and the same. You close your eyes, and you can still feel it, the water, the stars, the moonlight settling over you. Even with your eyes shut, the images remain, glowing softly in your mind, like memories you have always carried. The world at midnight is not empty. It is full of presence, of silence, of rest. Every sound is hushed, every motion gentle, every moment stretched wide enough to cradle you. Somewhere far across the bay, an owl calls, its voice low and steady, carried easily by the night air. The sound does not break the silence, it becomes part of it, deepening it, grounding it. The owl's wings beat softly, and then it is gone, leaving only the whisper of the midnight breeze. Time is slow here, you cannot measure it. Minutes dissolve into the rhythm of the tide. Hours drift like clouds across the night sky. Midnight does not feel like a single point, but like an endless ocean of stillness where you can float forever. The waters of the Chesapeake, dark and silver, whisper one truth. You are safe. You are held. Rest within me. And so you do. You rest. You let the midnight waters carry you. Softly, gently, deeper into peace. The night has reached its deepest point. Midnight has passed. And now the world drifts in a stillness that feels eternal. The Chesapeake Bay lies before you like a vast, dark mirror, holding the sky in its quiet embrace. The stars above shimmer, but even they seem softer now, as though they, too, are preparing to rest. This is not the silence of emptiness. It is the silence of fullness, of the world gathered into one single, infinite breath. The water barely stirs. Each ripple is so small, so delicate, that it feels less like motion and more like the bay is sighing in its sleep. The moon's reflection stretches across the surface. Unbroken, steady, a path of silver leading nowhere and everywhere at once. You gaze upon it, and your thoughts dissolve into its stillness, as though your mind has merged with the bay itself. The air is cool and tender. Every breeze is softer than the last, brushing against your skin like a whispered promise. The scent of the night is rich and layered, damp reeds, saltwater, earth, and a faint sweetness carried from unseen blossoms. With every breath, you draw this silence deeper into your body. And with every exhale, you surrender more fully to rest. The creatures of the marsh are quieter now. The chorus of frogs has slowed into occasional notes, scattered like distant bells. The crickets hum less urgently, their rhythm more like a steady drone, an endless vibration woven into the night. Even their song feels like silence, less a sound, more a pulse of the earth reminding you that life continues. Even in stillness, you sit, or perhaps you recline, so still that you feel as though you, too, are part of the bay. Your heartbeat slows, each beat resonating with the gentle tide. Your breath aligns with the water's rhythm. Your body is no longer separate, it is absorbed into the landscape, into the silence, into the infinite calm. Above you, the stars seem closer now. Their light no longer feels distant. It feels like it rests upon your shoulders, like it is woven into your hair, your breath, your dreams. The Milky Way stretches across the heavens. But here, in the deep silence of the bay, it feels less like a river in the sky and more like a current flowing through you. You close your eyes, and the silence deepens further. But even with eyes shut, you still feel the bay. The coolness of the air, the silver of the moonlight, the infinite patience of the water. It all presses gently against you, holding you, cradling you, as though you were being rocked in a cradle made of night. Time has vanished completely. There are no minutes, no hours, only the long, unbroken hush of the bay. And in that hush, thoughts loosen their grip. Memories float away like driftwood on the tide. Worries, once sharp, are rounded smooth and carried off into the dark. Even dreams are beginning to arrive, slow and quiet, seeping in like mist across the water. The silence here is not empty, it is full of invitation. It says, rest deeper, drift farther. You are safe. You are home. Perhaps you hear the faint wings of a bird crossing the night sky. Perhaps the splash of a fish breaks the water for an instant. Yet even these sounds are softened, swallowed by the silence, as though the bay insists that nothing, nothing at all, may disturb your rest. The night is endless. The bay is endless. And in their embrace, you, too, become endless. The silence deepens still. It presses around you, within you, until you feel weightless. Your body loosens completely, every muscle soft, every thought dissolved. The silence does not ask you to sleep, it simply carries you there. Gently, like a tide that knows exactly where to go. The Chesapeake Bay, in its deep midnight hush, whispers the softest truth. Let go. Drift away. Sleep. And so you do. You drift. You let yourself be carried by the deep silence of the bay, until the world itself seems to breathe you into its endless rest. The deep silence of night holds for what feels like forever. But slowly, so slowly, the edges of the darkness begin to soften. Far to the east, where the horizon meets the wide Chesapeake Bay, a faint glow stirs. It is not sudden. It is a whisper of light. A suggestion. A breath of color brushing gently against the black canvas of the sky. The stars still shine, but their brilliance begins to fade, as if bowing in reverence to the return of dawn. The air shifts first. The cool of midnight softens into something lighter, fresher. The breeze carries the scent of awakening reeds, damp with dew, mingled with the salt of the sea. Each breath feels new, as though the night has cleansed the air and offered it back to you. Pure and gentle, the bay, still hushed, reflects the first hint of dawn. What was once a silver mirror of moonlight becomes a canvas for soft blues and delicate grays. The water ripples quietly, as though it, too, is waking slowly, stretching after a long night of stillness. You sit in the hush, watching. The world has not yet spoken. The birds are quiet, the marsh still. It is a holy pause, the moment between night and morning, when the earth holds its breath, waiting for light. And then, the first bird sings. A single, delicate note, carried across the reeds. Clear, gentle, certain. Another answers. And then another. Until the silence is woven with soft voices calling the day into being. The chorus grows. Not hurried, not loud, but steady, like the heartbeat of a new morning. The sky blooms with color. Pale rose stretches across the horizon, deepening into gold. Soft lavender lingers high above, where the stars still retreat. The first rays of sunlight reach across the bay, painting the water in liquid fire once again. The transformation is slow, almost tender, as though the sun is careful not to wake the world too quickly. You breathe deeply. The air tastes of beginnings, of renewal. Your chest rises and falls with ease, each breath filling you with light. The heaviness of the night dissolves. What remains is clarity, softness, peace. The boats, dark silhouettes through the night, begin to glow with dawn's touch. Wooden decks, damp with dew, shine faintly. Ropes sway, catching the light. The bay, which had seemed endless and hidden, reveals its gentle lines again, its marshes, its shores, its drifting grasses all gilded in gold. The water sighs, steady and calm. The tide moves with patience, carrying with it the reflections of the sky. The moon's silver path has disappeared, replaced by golden ribbons that shimmer with each ripple. You gaze upon them, and it feels as though the day itself is reaching out to you, offering its warmth, its calm, its promise. The night is not lost, it lingers in your body as rest, as quiet strength. But the dawn adds something new. It brings the gentle truth that even endings are beginnings, that every darkness holds the seed of light. The marsh awakens with sound. Birds sing brighter now, their voices layering into a soft symphony. Wings flutter in the reeds. Insects hum faintly, as though picking up their daily work. Even the frogs, quiet through the deep night, croak once more, greeting the morning with their steady voices. The first rays of sunlight touch your face. They are warm but not harsh, golden but not blinding. They rest upon your skin like a hand, like a blessing. You close your eyes and feel the light seep into you, filling the spaces where night's stillness had lingered. And in that warmth, you realize something. You are no longer just watching the dawn. You are part of it. your breath, your body, your quiet mind, all of it belongs to this gentle return of light. The bay does not only reflect the sun, it reflects you. 2. Resting. Calm. Eternal. The world stretches awake. The horizon brightens. The stars have gone, hidden until night calls them again. The sun rises slowly, spilling its brilliance across the Chesapeake, and yet the peace remains. Because dawn is not a call to rush. It is a reminder to begin softly, to carry the stillness of the night into the light of the day. And so you sit, wrapped in the embrace of morning. The day has returned, but it has not broken the silence, it has only transformed it into song, into light, into the endless rhythm of rest. The Chesapeake Bay whispers once more. Through its waves, through its sky, through its light, you are held, you are safe, you may rest. And as dawn unfolds across the water, you allow yourself to remain in its gentle embrace, half waking, half dreaming, floating between night and day, carried always by the eternal calm of the bay. And now, the journey has circled back. The long day upon the Chesapeake Bay, its golden morning, its drifting afternoon, its glowing sunset, its starlit night, and its gentle dawn, has carried you through a tide of stillness, until you have arrived here, at the quiet edge of rest. Listen, the waves are softer now, a lullaby whispered just for you. They rise, they fall, in the same rhythm as your breath. Inhale, the bay fills you with calm. Exhale, the bay carries your worries away. The stars have faded, the sun has returned, but none of that matters now. Because the light, the water, the silence, all of it has done its work. It has brought you here, to the threshold of sleep. Your body is heavy, cradled by the earth. Your breath is slow, carried by the tide. Your mind is quiet, rocked by the bay's eternal hush. 24. You are safe here. You are held here. You are allowed to let go. Imagine the whispers of the Chesapeake Bay curling around you, gentle as the breeze. Rest now, drift now, sleep now. And as the whisper repeats, your eyelids grow heavier. Your thoughts dissolve like ripples fading into still water. The world narrows to sound and softness, waves, breath, silence, and then even those fade, leaving only rest. The bay will keep watch. The stars will return tonight. The dawn will come again tomorrow. But for now, you need only sleep. So drift, so rest, so surrender. At last, to the whisper of the bay.